baby Metroid after the Metroid 2 events, and then getting a call back to save Sarah's station. So here we go.
Unfortunately, Snake just started his timer a little bit late. That's gonna make things a little bit awkward for getting everything synced up, unfortunately, but
That's the best strat to get a good time is to start
absolutely.
start late, split it and finish early. But it's not going to matter too much as they enter. Really, here SnakeLancer just waited a little bit for the race to be synced up. Very nice.
The 300 IQ sync strat. Just wait for 3 seconds.
Yes. 24 HP and we can leave. So tell me, what's going to be, what are the rooms or the strats that definitely are not going to be their scene today on this race compared to what we've seen before? Except that every single room is going to be different. But is there any like major strats we should look for?
Like any strats that the runners do differently?
Well, the biggest ones on top of your head.
Well, I haven't seen very many runs from either of these runners, but I would imagine since SnakeLancer, I believe he's a lot newer to the community than Maniacal, I would imagine he goes for a few more safeties. We might see a few more E-tanks, a few more missiles, maybe even early ice. But in the general route should be pretty much the same.
Yeah, earlier ice would be very interesting because that means a very easier red tower climb, but it means that you have to deal having the ice beam, so it's going to be interesting. Do you bet on any saves?
I would imagine they both save at Mother Brain, maybe Fantoon as well. I mainly say Maniacal saves at Mother Brain because we see him using Moonfall, but I assume, assuming everything goes how he wants, he should be a little bit ahead of Snake heading into Mother Brain, so he might want to take the safety save to kind of ensure that he doesn't throw at Mother Brain. And as for Snake, I'm not totally sure where he's going to save. But there's a few good spots, including before Fantoon and before Ridley.
Maniacal getting the morphing ball a couple of seconds before SnakeLancer as they make their way towards it. And we'll get the first missiles, obviously. We'll get them. And it's so good to be able to angle downward, like so you can break blocks just under you. So that's something we could not see just earlier. So I'm pretty happy to see the angle down button on both runners now.
Yeah, definitely pretty refreshing. See some sweet angle down strats. As a Maniacal going to be heading out of Brinstar here. Elminster bringing up a good point. It's always Maniacal's opponents that throw at Mother Brain. So hopefully we don't see that this time. Or maybe we see the opposite.
So in his group, Maniacal won once and got 2 losses. SnakeLancer lost twice, and we have Mega that lost twice and won once. And Krauser got 2 wins, and Lynx Unlimited got 3 wins and 1 loss. So it's going to be tough for both of those runners to make it out of group stage. So it's probably just for funs and just having a good opportunity to race the game that they're doing it right now. So it's pretty maybe less stressful to have just the opportunity to do a cool race. SnakeLancer having a little bit of trouble to get out of the pit, but not too much, and Maniacal gets to the bomb torso fight.
Alright, going back to your earlier point, even if the runners are most likely eliminated from moving on, it still might be in their best interest to put on as good of a run as they can, just as a closing run. Just show off what they can do, or they can meme it up. We'll see what they decide.
No, I'm all for going seriously, even if it's not the qualification is out. It's always a good thing just to go for a fastest run as possible. SnakeLancer could get a PB, so let's go for that. And Maniacal just has the opportunity to show off that he doesn't throw a mother brain.
Absolutely. Unfortunately, SnakeLancer entered this Bomb Chorizo fight without having full health, so gonna have to have a little bit of... We're gonna have a little bit of trouble with the Bomb Chorizo fight, but gets it pretty decently overall.
Yeah, when you enter the room with full health, you are you have only missile drops, and you need all your missiles because you enter with 0. So it's always way better to have as many as full health as possible. But getting out of the pit of hell with full health can be kind of tricky. So totally would understand why you'd have bad drops.
Right, and also saw him having a little bit of trouble with Alcatraz, but he got it without too much trouble, as he is not too far behind Maniacal yet. Hopefully it stays that way for him.
Maniacal grabbing the first super missiles. Always nice to have there, and will make their way towards a big pick. SnakeLancer having trouble triggering the elevator. Finally gets it, and just 129 HP and 5 missiles will head towards the mock ball room.
Unfortunately, it looked like he morphed too early there. And this is a pretty tricky backup, setting this up from inside the room.
Yeah, it's super... Oh, wow! Oh, almost. Did not run for long enough to get full speed.
Of course, there's a lot of things we do take for granted in a lot of these runs, but certain tricks that we see most runners do, like Alcatraz and now the mock ball, are actually pretty tricky if you're not used to them. So, of course, SnakeLancer being a newer runner,
Nice.
it's not too surprising to see him have a little bit of trouble, but gets the backup. So he's going to be on his way now. As Maniacal heads down Red Tower, gonna go fight Kraid. At least we imagine.
That would be a very surprising route to go bottom route there and then not go kill Kraid.
Like I said, we've seen some memes already today. I wouldn't be surprised to see any more. Although, I would be surprised to see Maniacal not going to Kraid here, especially considering he is in Kraid's lair now. So that would be a little bit interesting to see him go back.
just checking, guys. Yeah, he's still here. I'll be right back. So they got the. There are many strats on that entrance for Kraid's Lair. You have those 3 blocks you can destroy with super missiles, and you will often see runners break either the middle one and do like a jump and a morph ball, break the lowest one and then just morph, or break all 3 of them while running, which is like kind of difficult to nail because you have 3 different heights to get there. So different strats. Obviously, some are faster, some are slower, and very nice fast trade for Maniacal.
Absolutely. Of course, even if you shoot all 3 blocks to Kraid's Lair, there's actually a few different orders you can do, which are varying speeds and varying difficulty. Like the technical fastest is to shoot the bottom block last while angling down, but there's a few other ways you can do it that are a little bit easier. But either way, Maniacal going to be heading out of Kraid's Lair, not going to have to worry about any fancy strats.
So we'll probably see an E-Tank picked up right there. And SnakeLancer. That jump is not easy to do at all. You are supposed to have high jump there, but makes it nicely with a little wall jump. Oh,
yeah, it's a pretty small wall jump.
And dodging the high 5 here, just passing when Maniacal is getting the E-Tank.
Gonna have to say that's a little bit unfortunate.
It's all planned. They will get together later today on some other rooms, I guess, as there is so much backtracking in that game. Maniacal adds to Norfair now. We'll grab the high jump, speed booster, an E-Tank, a couple of missiles, and the wave beam. So, not going to early ice, not surprising.
SnakeLancer actually opted to farm there right before Kraid. Of course, if you miss a Kraid quick kill with low health, things can get a little bit dangerous. So, not too bad of an idea.
Not going for Kraid quick kill.
Looked like he went for it, but unfortunately shot too early, I believe. So,
yeah. Usually runners do like step a little bit more into the room, like on the last block. I'm not sure how positioning affects the outcome of the quick kill.
Well, normally what you would do is you morph ball while Kraid is coming up because it reduces the lag since Kraid is so big. It causes a pretty solid amount of lags, and reducing your own sprite size reduces the lag a little bit. But we saw Snake just hold the charge shot and went for the 4 super missile charge quick kill. Unfortunately shot too early, but still having a really nice Kraid fight.
Yeah, that was actually very fast considering I did not get the quick kill. Oh, the charge method doesn't matter where you stand. Okay, I'm just familiar with the missile method. I understand. And bubble maintain for Maniacal.
Snake's getting pretty trolled by these key hunters. So another little thing that I actually didn't know until really recently. If you jump through the door, like heading out of the shaft before Kraid's Lair, if you jump through that door, it manipulates the key hunters so they won't jump down on you like that. So that's not something a lot of people know when they first start out, but it is something really useful, for sure.
Maniacal picks the speed booster. apparently pretty close to PB because the timer went red for a couple of seconds before the split. Really like to notice that kind of things, and they're going to farm just a little bit so they can get some supers back.
He's getting pretty trolled by these
Nothing.
drops.
Okay.
So technically, you only need one super missile coming out of that farm if you choose to missile these 2 doors heading to wave, because that'll give you 2 coming out of Norfair, and that's technically all you need, but it's definitely a lot more comfortable to get more than one, because that's the bare minimum you can have. So
What's very
even
important
experienced runners will try to have more than one there.
Yeah, definitely. You really have to have enough supers getting into wreck ship, because if you get there and you don't have the 2 you need to get to Dragon, well, then you're done pretty much. It's nothing drops there, so you absolutely have to be very careful with your ammo management at that point.
Unfortunately, we are going to dodge the high 5 again, as Maniacal is just going to leave this room before SnakeLancer makes it in.
It's all planned. Yeah, you get out of Upper Norfair the other way around under the entrance, just because you can get through here thanks to the speed booster there.
Yep.
And
shoutouts to all the randomizers where you don't get speed and try to go through that room.
Yeah, that happened quite a lot. So now that Maniacal has everything they need, pretty much, they will head back up the red tower and will go into the wreck ship. And SnakeLancer is having a little bit of trouble doing those wall jumps. Charging, so they have a pseudo screw to get past the cack attack.
The timing on this jump, especially without opening the door, is really tricky, and gets trolled by the cack attack when he finally makes it. But looks like he got it this time.
Yep, very nice. Got the super drop from the kick attack, and we'll move on.
Yep, gonna go get his speed booster.
Okay, Maniacal setting up his red tower there, getting his shot through, and the wall jump without getting hit, and nice.
Yeah, Maniacal is unfortunately doesn't look like he's on PB pace anymore, but things could change if he has a good Fantoon. I don't know what his Fantoon fight looked like in his PB.
Yeah, 9 seconds behind PB apparently. It's pretty nice for the first third of the game. So we'll see how well it goes. The boss fights are going to decide a lot, and I feel like a lot of paces are lost on lower Norfair split. Like just entering, getting to Ridley, killing Ridley, and then leaving. Like it's a huge place. Like so many things can go wrong. So definitely, that's something to remember when we'll get there.
I would argue that most time is lost in Fantoon and Dragon, since both boss fights are pretty difficult to do optimally.
Oh yeah,
and so
definitely.
you can gain or lose a lot of time depending on how your fight goes.
Yeah, the boss fights, especially Dragon, sometimes they can like really go wrong. Oh, and goofing the Shine Spark also doesn't help. And Fantoon, obviously, like it's just plain hard, and they're random, and if it goes wrong, it can take a lot of time. Each cycle can take a lot of time.
Maniacal didn't opt to go for Ocean Fly, just gonna spark across the moat and then across the ocean separately. We've seen a good amount of runners do that. It actually only loses a couple seconds. Loses a lot less time than you would think, and saves a little bit of health. So
sometimes we'll have runners also doing intentionally a second shine spot a little bit higher, so the shine spot stops in the middle of the ocean room, so they have even more health for the Phantom fight.
Right, I would imagine most times you see the runners bonk like midway through the ocean. It's probably intentional to save health, but I don't know.
Yeah, I'd say also like it's not the hardest one to go through.
So I imagine Snake is going to be picking up. No, he's actually not going for early ice.
Just following Maniacal.
Maniacal actually going for Dopplers here.
They have the resources to do X Factor, but Doppler and X Factor are quite the same time-wise. So it's all depending on the runner's ability to do those fast.
I would argue that a 2-round X Factor is a lot easier than a 2-round Doppler, but if that's what the runners are more comfortable with, then I guess it would be faster for them.
So it's a whole Phantom taking its time to show up.
He's getting kind of trolled. He's got a couple fast eye closes from Phantoon. Meanwhile, SnakeLancer heading up to the red tower. Unfortunately missed the shot. It hit off the Ripper. It didn't look like he went for the setup to not get the shot blocked. So he just had to jump up and shoot.
Yeah, and once the Reaper all moved, it gets crazier really fast. Like it's all desynced.
Yeah, I think I talked about it last time, where once you mess this up, it can just keep going wrong.
Yeah, that's why I totally understand if you're not comfortable with Red Tower, just going for early ice makes perfect sense. And if the shot gets blocked, either you start again or you go all the way up there just to break the blocks and go back. But finally he makes it, very nice. On their way to the first power bombs. While Maniacal kill Phantom in just going through wreck ship to get their gravity suits.
Maniacal Kojak a super there, but still had a pretty clean attic spark. Interestingly, decided to spark a little bit later than we see a lot of runners do. And shout outs to Streamlabs. Somebody followed Maniacal, not sure who.
And now everybody's going to go to Maniacal stream, host them, and follow them.
Yep, I'm doing that right now as we speak.
Perfect. Well, be sure to follow all the runners featured on Speed Gaming. They stream a lot of their practice. They're all very nice runners, and it's always good to see runners grinding Super Metroid. It's a very nice game to watch as a speedrun. And going to donate. Yeah, perfect. Let's test all the different options to see what's working. SnakeLancer did take the save before heading to wreck ship, which makes perfect sense. Phantoon is probably one of the biggest killers out there. And Maniacal just getting his gravity suit. It's all leading to an inevitable high five. Finally.
No. Looks like SnakeLancer. I thought I was going to go back to the ship there.
Oh wow, that would have been terrible. Just to dodge the high five.
Well, not just to dodge the high five.
They saved just beforehand and had the.
But finally, we get our high five in moat
Yeah,
as
nice.
SnakeLancer picking up the moat missile. I'm kind of worried about his health though. He's pretty low.
196 HP. That's the one of the situation where definitely you want to stop your Shine Spark midway. Oh, it
Yeah.
still counts, Rumble. You have to admit that. Even if you jump above like the other Samus, it still counts as a high five.
Ooh. Unfortunately, having a little bit of trouble with this spark. I'd almost argue that it would be better to just jump across with how low he is. Like, this is not a good position. Yeah, he needs to jump because otherwise he's doesn't. Or I guess he could spark from on that little hill there. There he goes.
Nice.
But
Sadly, no HP left, which is like super scary. It's quite hard to farm for HP in the wreck ship, so.
yeah, we're gonna probably see him farm the Coverns here.
That takes so much time, though.
Yeah, that's why I said he should probably go back to the ship with how low he is. No, he's just going. That
Wow. Okay. This is going to get very interesting because if he does that, like, it's. I mean, Phantom drops is like that those fireballs that you can break and get dropped from them, but it's it's a tough fight. Maniacal getting through Moradia there, heading to bottom.
Yep, so give your energy to SnakeLancer here, as he got some pretty good health drops, but he's still not in a comfortable position. That's a Maniacal. Looks like he took the Sloater's refill while I was looking at the other stream. So shout outs to Sloaters again.
We had to see it at least once, I guess. Maniacal having all the resources they need to kill Butwin. We'll head towards the boss right now. And looks like SnakeLancer actually took the right decision there.
That was a
fight, but
a little bit goofy there. As a Maniacal, unfortunately, only hitting half of that X Factor.
Oh, yeah.
So that's
You
gonna
have
make
to-
things. Oh, look at that! Both particles
nice!
hit that bot.
It's the backup strat. If you if only half of the particle hit, you move exactly like that, and oh wow,
Yeah.
stop missing.
100% calculated coming from Maniacal, and that's Botwoon down.
Very nice.
Meanwhile, SnakeLancer is actually taking the fight pretty slow and safe, which I don't really blame him there, but... yeah, I don't really blame him.
So yeah, Maniacal is in first. He's leading the race so far. Killed Phantom, got to Moridia, killed Botwoon, and are just farming a little bit before getting to Dragon right now. While SnakeLancer got us pretty scared entering the Phantom fight with only 29 HP, and yeah, he's taking the fight very slowly but very safe, and they're done. Very nice. Like, just being able to survive that is quite nice.
Yeah, kind of interesting that Maniacal opted to farm there when he got the super drop he needed from the... the booger guys. I don't know what they're called. but still wanted some extra ammo for the Dragon fight. It's definitely useful if things don't go optimally, so can't really blame him there.
Alright, let's go. Dragon, be nice. SnakeLancer gets this second super missile pack. That's the last one you'll see in the run. You don't need too much of those to beat the game. More supers would be nice because you'd have to rely less on drops, but it's actually so slow to get anything in Super Metroid because of the fanfare that you'd rather just skip everything.
Maniacal, unfortunately, having a little bit of trouble with these shine sparks. Not having too bad of a fight, though. Yeah, I think Dragon's one shine spark from death, or he could use his ammo here. Wow, he's got to be really close.
Wow, but
and there it is, enough. Just one shot away.
Very good. And Maniacal will grab the space jump. Timer turned red. Sadly, so still behind the PB pace, but not by much still.
Yeah, unfortunately, I don't think we'll see Maniacal PB this run, but he's still having a decent run for himself. Not too far behind. SnakeLancer is going to be heading over to his gravity suit.
Yeah. They gave us a little bit of feedback in the chat. Apparently the A button is sticky.
I don't know what he uses A for, but that's probably not a good thing.
Well, you'd rather have wet action to be sticky, because jumping would be quite bad, but so is running or shooting. So maybe the cancel weapon would not be too bad.
Well, I mean, I assume by sticky he means he's having trouble pressing down the button, so if he wants to jump or shoot, then that would be problematic if he just couldn't do it. But hopefully he gets to finish out this run.
Oh, yeah, if it is for dash, it means it's hard to it explains the trouble for foreshadowing, because you got quite some tough time with the shine sparks, which is kind of annoying.
Right, but either way, he got through the wreck ship without too much trouble. And he's going to be heading down to Meridia. We might actually see another high five. Although, actually...
Nope.
No, we wouldn't anyways, because Maniacal would exit out down to Norfair. So never mind.
Once again, the game is built, so we are missing all the high fives. Like you have those paths like in and out of the areas that just are made for this race to really not click between those two runners right now. But yeah, Maniacal just heading to the exit of Maria, close to the glass tube, right where SnakeLancer is going to get into Meridia in a couple of rooms.
Chat brings up a good point. It's possible that he's using A for dash, and that's keeping him from doing good short charge taps. Which would explain why he had a bit of trouble in the ocean.
Mhm. So yeah, all the runners you see in Super Metroid charges their shine sparks way faster than you would playing casually, and that's by actually releasing and tapping the dash button. So it tricks the game to think that you are constantly running when you are actually not, and the game does not check all the frames if you are pressing that dash button, which allows for that trick, which is which is actually kind of technical and interesting to learn. As in, it's in the dragon fight. You have those. There are like visual cues that are exactly lined up on when to do those clean taps to get the shine spark. So it's an interesting one. And sometimes you'll hear the commentators or the runners say they are like 2 taps or 3 taps charges when you have to get the perfect taps multiple times to get even faster charges. Especially like before the lava dive, this one is quite tricky, or before the pillars in lower Norfolk.
Right. To be exact, the frame that the game checks if Samus is running in order to get the speed booster blue suit is I believe it's when her arm is all the way back, her left arm. So that's when you see people tapping. So and also most short charges in the game only require a 2 or 3 tap, although there are some tricky ones like Lava Spark and the Speed Zeb Skip, which require a stutter at the beginning, which I could not explain that technically because I'm bad. Anyways, Maniacal, who's not bad, is on his way to the Ridley fight.
Yeah, so they did not do that lava spark we were talking about, but got through using the space jump. And we're getting to lower Norfolk here. Very tricky set of rooms here to go through fast. Like you, at that point in the game, although you have like a lot of upgrades, you still are a bit under-leveled. Like you don't have that much health, and like there's nothing extra we did in the run, so it is a very like difficult part of the run. Everything deals a lot of damage, and health is a very big concern. So is resources.
And speaking of tricky short charges, I believe that one there to get fast pillars is either a 4 tap or a stutter 3 tap. And unfortunately, Maniacal did not quite get it, so he just had to powerbomb the pillars. Fortunately, he still has enough power bombs to get through Lower North Fair. But if he doesn't have full power bombs going into that room and he misses fast pillars, it causes a little bit of trouble.
There are a couple of places where you need power bombs to go through, and there's that one final set of blocks you have to destroy before getting to the lower part with the black pirates, and you have that power pack, that power bomb pack called the power bombs of shame. If you have to get those, that means you got bad resource management at some point.
Yep, we have seen plenty of power bombs of shame in this tournament, but luckily Maniacal not gonna be needing them this run.
Yeah, he's doing fine in health, and will kill the pirates. Oh, nice Kago here.
Looks like SnakeLancer is just gonna be killing Dragon with ammo and charge shots. Definitely don't blame him there, since if he's not comfortable with short charges and or his run button is a little bit sticky, then it would probably be faster just not to go for them, especially since he has plenty of ammo.
Still need to be careful not getting grabbed here. Oh, how did that work? He's still in the goop. And 18 cells.
The goo is weird sometimes. There's times where you just get grabbed and Dragon doesn't decide to grab you. I think it has something to do with being on the edge of the screen, but I'm not sure. Is Maniacal taking a little bit of damage on this Ridley fight?
Yeah, not the best start ever. But with the Plasma Beam and Ice, Charge and Wave, only 20 shots are required, so as long as he's a little bit careful, he should be done fairly shortly.
Speaking of done fairly shortly, Dragon's looking awfully red right now. So he shouldn't be too far from, or she shouldn't be too far from being taken down. Although Snake is not looking too healthy himself. Gonna have to be a little bit careful here. We saw Maniacal here.
Oh wow.
I didn't see what his health was coming out of Ridley, but he opted for the Ridley E-Tank. So gonna have that extra safety for Lower Norfair and Mother Brain.
They had 258, so maybe like they didn't feel confident enough with that little, or maybe they're just playing safe. It's hard to tell.
Right, of course he might be watching the stream and knows that he's ahead, so gonna opt for the extra safety. But who knows?
Well, now with 512 health, they just can go full ham. Not worry at all. Nothing will kill them. The Kai Hunter are still scary, but mostly because like it's taking time to kill them. But they should be fine to beat the game at least, which is always nice.
Yep. And so hopefully we don't see him take any hits anyways, but even if he does, he should be fine.
Yeah, they're still playing safe, trying not to get hit, which is very nice. You can shoot those, like any enemy, with the Plasma Beam or the Wave Beam and run through them during their iframes, and you will not take any hits. So you see a lot of runners do that just to avoid taking damage, especially through the Kai Hunter. And the middle pirates, I kill that like that also. Just charge a Shine Spark running through them, and it just works.
Yeah, of course. I think while the Plasma Beam is touching an enemy, you can't actually take damage from it. Or actually while any beam is touching an enemy. So
yep. But the Plasma Beam hits for longer, for more frames, so it's easier with Plasma Beam.
So you see, even in New Route, people do that with just Spazer. So, but of course, Plasma makes it a lot easier. So Maniacal didn't take too much damage coming out of Lower Norfair.
Yeah, Maniacal will be done with everything, while SnakeLancer will make their way towards Lower Norfair, but first they will pick up their own Plasma Beam. Obviously, in old route, you absolutely need that because it gets everything done so much faster. In new route, you don't need it as much because you do Dragon last, so you have way less interest in picking it up.
Absolutely. So, SnakeLancer just picked up his Plasma Beam. He's going to be heading down to Lower Norfair himself. Unfortunately, once again, we're just gonna miss a high five.
Wow. I was almost ready to say that they needed to go through the same set of rooms there, but actually SnakeLancer just a little bit too slow, leaving Meridia. And yeah, once again, it's just too sad, but those two runners really are dancing a weird ballet there, where just being on offset just enough so that never are in the same rooms.
We got a little bit of dueling banjos going on here, but unfortunately, or I guess fortunately for Maniacal, looks like he is winning said duel, so he's going to be in G4 in just about a minute here. Running not quite PB pace run, but still very solid.
Yeah, overall, like it all went well. Did not struggle anywhere. Played safe. I think like the 5th E-Tank is safety for them, but it's working nice. And if Torian goes well, it's going to be a clean victory. But SnakeLancer having like a 1 hour and 20-minute PB, if they're not stopping now, it should be doable to beat that time. I'm not sure how well Lower Norfolk is going to go.
Yeah, they definitely look on pace to beat their PB, assuming they can get a clean Ridley fight and Mother Brain fight. So I'm not totally sure how their Lower Norfolk looks, but I would imagine this is probably PB pace.
Obviously, first, before getting to Torian, Maniacal has to wait through that long cutscene. So you can get there super early, but as long as you one of the bosses is still alive, you will not make it through. So that's why we went all the way through the entire world to kill all those bosses, just to be able to pass that room. SnakeLancer going a southern route towards Lower Norfolk.
Yep. Unfortunately, stops a little bit early. Looked like he wanted to Shine Spark through this room here, but yeah, he stopped a little bit too early, so he wasn't able to shoot the door. But not losing too much time.
Nice grouping strat from Maniacal, which is taking all those Metroids at the same spot and, to kill them in one go. And has a nice clean third room. We'll enter the last one with all these resources, so no problem whatsoever to get to Mother Brain.
We'll see if he goes for Baby Skip. I don't think he does, but we could see him try it here.
Yeah, you don't lose too much trying, as long as you know how to do it. But
looks like he's setting up for it.
Yeah, usually a runner would take intentional damage here if he's not going for a Baby Skip. So let's go. Just have to dodge the big Metroid a couple of times. And
setup looks good.
Yep. Okay.
And there it is. A really clean Baby Skip from Maniacal. And I think that might put him on PB pace. I'm not sure though.
That's possible. 49. Getting to the Mother Brain. It's I said it just earlier and I forgot a 53.
Yeah, his PB is a 54 something. And it looks like he's making about that pace now. So this could be close. At least. At very worst.
And SnakeLancer is having a little bit of trouble passing the worst room in the game, but made it. Just that one last jump, and here we go. Okay, 20 shots to kill Mother Brain. Should go fast enough. They have 5 E-tanks, so they can take a lot of damage before being in any trouble. So should be
Right,
fine.
even if he took a double catch up, he would still be fine, and almost took a catch up there, but luckily dodged it pretty narrowly.
Intentional damage there. And there we go.
Unfortunately, Maniacal is not quite PB pace, according to chat, but still definitely a really impressive run.
Damn. Close but behind. Still 53. Nice.
I thought his PB was a 54. I was mistaken.
Yeah. He got like a PB recently, I guess, because it's still a 54 in their Twitch description, but sadly SnakeLancer has to go get that those poems of shame. But at least they're very close to the entrance there. You don't have to make any big detour to get those. And we are almost done here with Mother Brain. Sadly, baby Metroid has to die.
SnakeLancer isn't looking too great on health. One thing I have been impressed by, though, is how few safeties he's taken. Really just the crate tank.
Yeah, a couple of saves, the crate tank, but except that they went like full ham. Just like entering a Phantom with only 29 HP says it all, I'd say.
Yeah, SnakeLancer has no fear. It's always a great thing to see during a race. He's gonna farm a little bit before Ridley though, but can't really blame him there.
Yeah. And Maniacal killed Mother Brain and just has to leave now. 52 minutes, so yeah, they can get the sub 54. SnakeLancer taking a lot of damage. But, and they have to dodge a little bit more. Oh wow.
I thought he was okay, but looks like he took a lot of damage in a pretty short amount of time.
Yeah, they got bodied at the start of the fight.
Alright, so one thing I did notice though is I think what happened there, that's an unfortunate death, but luckily he did safety save. But I think what happened there was he held his charge and pseudo screwed into Ridley, and that will actually reset your iframes. So he took a couple hits in quick succession there, and I think he did that a couple times. So that would be how he lost so much health so quickly.
Yeah, Ridley definitely is one of the is the hardest boss for new runners, because if you don't have like his patterns down memorized and you know how to dodge them, it's very tricky.
But luckily Maniacal having a really good race. He got done a little bit late, but he finished with an official time of 54 minutes and 8 seconds, which breaks his race PB by a minute and a half. So GG to Maniacal.
Wow, nice. Yeah, incredible race. Very close to PB throughout the entirety of the run. And yeah, never stopped. Took a couple of, like the 50 tank was safety, I'd say. And don't remember, but it went well overall.
Oh, absolutely. And So hopefully we can see SnakeLancer finishing shortly. Only has Ridley and Mother Brain to go, so not too much of the game left. Got a little bit trolled there by the frozen enemy there.
Yeah, that's the problem with the ice beam. Like summed up, it's getting stuck on anything is pretty annoying.
Looks like Snake is entering with a bit more health into Ridley, so hopefully he can have a better fight this time.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Like those pseudo screws he's doing apparently still hurt. And yeah, he's taking a lot of hits.
You saw right there, like normally you have a little bit over a second of iframes, I believe, and you saw him take 2 hits in like a third of a second. So that's the kind of things that can happen if you're not careful with pseudo screws.
Yep, and getting grabbed, like it does a lot of damage, and only 40 tanks is not a lot at that point in the game. Using all these missiles to get as much damage as you can, but dies again.
Yeah, the safety save is really paying off for him here.
Yep. Like if you don't save in the game when you die, you just start all the way back to the beginning. So saving takes time, but if you need it, you definitely should do it.
Oh, absolutely. And one thing I am interested in is I know Snake might be running with no safeties, but I feel like if he has too much trouble on this fight, he might want to opt to pick up the Fire Flea tank, since it's actually not too far from here. It's not really a backtrack, and it's gives them another 100 energy for Ridley. That was one thing I actually expected him to pick up before the race, that and early ice, but you decided to prove me wrong and go for no safeties. Unfortunately, that hasn't worked out for him too well in this Ridley fight, but hopefully he can get this. Third tries the charm, right?
Yeah. It's Ridley fights is all about like knowing where he is and just getting some clean shots to him. But it's like his patterns are kind of hard to understand, and figuring the fight out can take some time. So, like being a new runner, I'm not surprised they gave him so much trouble. They had like a clean Phantoon and Dragon fight, not the fastest, but they did well, so clearly they know the game very well.
Yeah. I would imagine if you are confident in doing a run like this with basically no safeties, you probably know the game pretty well. Unfortunately, knowing the game and actually playing the game are two separate things. But hopefully this is the run for Snake.
Alright, let's go. It's time to dodge those shots. He's taking a lot of damage already and getting grabbed.
This is an interesting Ridley strat. Not even like interesting in a bad way. It's actually pretty unique how he's doing this.
Yeah, I like those back and forth, going left and right. It's actually very nice. It's not even that slow. It's Oh, we got desynced sadly, and Ridley now is running freely.
Yeah, speaking of not too slow, we've got Maniacal here.
Hey, how's it going? Thank you all for sticking around to commentate this. Appreciate it. And thank you to SnakeLancer for the race.
Yep. Looks like SnakeLancer got his Ridley down.
Nice. I had to kill the... I was watching the race on my phone because my computer cannot handle 2 streams at once. And some of it and heard some of it, but I was hoping he would pull through.
Yep, unfortunately had a little bit of trouble, but on to your run, Maniacal. How do you feel? You got a 40 or a 53, so pretty solid run.
Yeah, I mean, it was behind my PB pretty consistently. I did pull ahead in wrecked ship because my PB's wrecked ship was abysmal, but I got 2 golds. I think I improved my sum of best 6 seconds on that run. I don't have too many attempts at any percent. And so it's still kind of a fresh category for me, and I get confused and go for the wrong room strats and things pretty consistently. I really should keep at it. I definitely want to grind a little bit on it, but just have so many other things that I've been choosing to put time into.
No, absolutely. Also saw you get a pretty good baby skip at the end, so
Yeah,
that's something you feel like you're consistent on, or?
Probably. I mean, under those conditions, that's like having speed booster, having high jump boots, of course high jump boots, but with speed booster plasma wave, I'd say I'm probably 80% at it. It's something that my PB had, so I knew I was running against it, but that I'll go for unless something happens and like my Metroid drops for some reason, I'm like out of health post Metroids 4, then I won't go for it, of course, but I feel pretty good about baby skip at this point. I was sad I needed to put an extra jump in. I kind of messed up one of the jumps late when I was managing how the baby was moving, but was glad to at least get through and not have baby speed.
Absolutely. So
yeah, I was happy with the run overall. I was probably about 10 seconds behind early and then about 6 seconds ahead post-wrecked ship, but then Dragon didn't go very well. I kind of forgot where I was and didn't set up my an opening spark or anything, and so I was, you know, over 1,000 damage behind on the fight, and so that didn't play in my favor, and then got a decent number of swoops there, but you know, it worked out okay.
Can we mention your very interesting butt wound strat, where you miss half the particles, but then get them all to hit, and
Oh yeah.
sometimes they appear.
Yeah, the particles, they just kind of move back and forth and orbit you, and they track Samus, so if you know which hole bot wound's going to come out of, you can really just put them right there. No, that was completely luck. I beefed the opener. I was trying to go on count 4.5 and then 3.5 for starting to charge and jump, but I started charging early and had to try and ad-lib it because I knew I was going to get the X Factor off, and it didn't work out very well. But I have a lot of trouble with that bot wound, honestly. It's pretty rare that I get a one-cycle bot wound.
Right, but I guess it's a good thing that it ended up how it did. So
yeah, I still missed bot wound's awful hitbox enough that I needed to stop and do charge shots, even though I got bailed out with 2 extra particle hits.
Right, but do you have any other thoughts about your run?
No, just wanted to say this is going to be my last race in the Any Percent tournament, unless anything really odd happens. Like if, you know, Krauser or Lynx decides that they didn't want to proceed to the bracket stage or something, I think I might have an opportunity at 2 and 2. But I think that each of those guys are much, much better runners than I am in terms of skill at Super Metroid, and they both deserve to advance. So, you know, a preemptive kind of congrats to those guys. They both whooped me pretty soundly. And thank you also to Megu and SnakeLancer for the races. I had a lot of fun. This was a good excuse for me to kind of go back and play a little bit of vanilla Super Metroid. And so I always, you know, always love to get some Super Metroid runs, and hopefully I'll make time to grind and maybe go for like a 51 sometime here in the next handful of weeks once I get knocked out of some of these other tournaments.
Oh, I had a question. Why did you pick up the fifth E-Tank on Ridley?
So, heuristically, under race conditions, I don't want to do my Lower Norfair escape with fewer than 301 health out of Ridley. And I had 258. And I also knew that I was ahead. And I was also behind PB pace. And so I figured that it just made sense. I was able to play a little bit more aggressively and probably saved seconds on movement. I know, if you take 15 seconds off of my run, I'm actually fairly close to a PB on that. And so it feels bad at first, but honestly, it afforded me a little bit more leeway in terms of some of the escape strats I was able to use.
Oh yeah, because if you played the same, you would have totally died. So it's not like you ended up back at in Bubble Mountain with less than 250 HP. So that would not have worked.
Yeah, I would have died with the exact escape that I had, and even if I came out of that with low HP, I would have had a little bit rockier of movement, and I ultimately was very conservative in Metroids 1 and didn't go for any sort of grouping strats. I probably should have grouped in Metroids 1. I think that was the biggest mistake I made in terms of mid-run decision making. I should have gone for Metroid 1 grouping strats. But I really just wanted to complete the run.
Well, complete the run you did. So definitely congratulations on that. And thank you for the race.
Thank you very much for commentating. Really appreciate you guys stepping up and getting it done. It was great to hear you on casting. So great job. And preemptive GG to SnakeLancer, because I'm going to be hopping out of the voice channel, but definitely going to tune in and be in chat and watch him finish up this race.
Yeah, they're on PB pace, actually, like 107. That means 13 minutes to beat Torian and leave the planet. They should be able to do it, yeah.
Well, I'll have my fingers crossed for this fat PB for SnakeLancer. I want to see it happen. But all right. Thanks, y'all. Take it easy.
No problem. Well, now that we got rid of that guy, we can focus on the right. No, I'm kidding. But SnakeLancer, yeah, as you said, he's probably on PB pace, depending on how well Turian goes.
And Torian is a crazy place. I would not be surprised if it's saved right here, or at least before Mother Brain. So those rooms, you have to kill all the Metroid, and for that you have to freeze them, then get the missiles, and that can get very tricky, and you have a lot of inputs to make. So going for the fastest strats is crazy. Maniacal mentioned grouping strats, so that means you get them to latch onto you, and then you freeze them in the same spot, and they just die in one hit, which like takes away your HP, but saves time.
Well, the thing with grouping strats is it takes less ammo to kill the Metroids. So if you're low on ammo, then you can group them to conserve ammo. Luckily, SnakeLancer had full ammo going into Turian since he refilled at the ship. So he didn't have to worry about that, just ran through the Metroid rooms. And looks like he was taking a little bit of damage from the hoppers. I don't know if that was intentional or not, but it would be a good idea, assuming he's not going for baby skip.
Yeah, the baby is going to grab you and not leave you until you have no HP, so he's taking intentional damage, like years until...
Unfortunately, Going by his splits, it doesn't look like SnakeLancer is on PB pace, but I don't know what his PB had and didn't have. It's possible that it had a death at Mother Brain, and that would mean if he didn't die here, he'd still be on pace.
Yeah, like he has like 10 minutes to kill Mother Brain and leave the planet. So even like having to refill here and there the doors, you should. If the step skip goes nicely, as you stated, like at the in the Moog ballroom before the first super missiles, we take a lot of things for granted, and the step skip is not that easy. Like nothing is very easy in that speedrun. Like everything you see is either very technical or very difficult or both. And the step skip can, when you're a new runner, can get you. So
yeah, it is actually possible that SnakeLancer doesn't even go for Zeb skip and he just wants to missile down the Zebtites. I don't imagine that's the case, but if it is, that could kind of explain why he's behind his PB. He could have also just forgot to split. That's possible too.
Okay, 22-10, which is not enough to break down all those Zebs, so he's going for a Zeb skip, but did not work out the first time, so he's leaving the room and starting again.
Yeah, you would want a nice second try Zeb skip, but it takes 11 missiles each to break the Zebatites, so if he wasn't comfortable with Zeb skip, he could have like missiled the first two and then gone back and refilled his missiles, and I think he would have had enough ammo to kill the next two and then just go directly to Mother Brain.
Yeah, 8 and 20, that would have worked, but that takes time, and it's way better to be able to do that. So yeah, he got past the Debs and got the glass down, and Mother Brain 1 is finished. So just have to get 20 short shot to the head without taking too much damage, but he has 519 HP, which is plenty.
Don't want to say it's plenty yet. He's still... these attacks, if you don't dodge them, they can all hit multiple times. Like both the onion rings and the ketchup can hit multiple times, which can leave you pretty low if you're not careful. And you see right there.
Wow. Okay. Nope, that didn't work out. Oh wow. Ketchup dealt like 200 HP in one go.
Yeah, the ketchup double hit there, which he would have potentially been okay, but unfortunately took a lot of damage from the rest of Mother Brain's attacks.
Damn, that's a bummer. Well, he can still do it. Like, just has to go past the Zeb again and
get the first try this time.
Nice.
I think if he beats Mother Brain this time, he would still be on PB pace, but don't quote me on that.
It's hard to say. Like,
ooh, unfortunately, kills his platform there.
Yep. There we go.
All right, round 2.
So, just dodge a little bit better and it'll be all right.
Yep.
Okay. I was starting to wonder if he had like the angle up button but mapped, but yeah, he does. No problem. Like 20 shots got crazy, goes very fast because you can deal a lot of damage before Mother Brain even starts to attack. those dodges are super clutch.
Oh, once again, gets double hit by the catch-up. Really unfortunate. This is definitely not what you would want to see, especially this close to PV pace, but I think you can do it. This is, of course, another pretty tricky fight if you're not used to it, along with Ridley. Since, of course, all Mother Brain's attacks do a lot of damage.
Yeah, I guess like if they want to improve by a lot, they just have to get the Mother Brain and the Ridley fight down a little bit better, like get consistent at them, and they will just smash the time by 20 minutes. So it's they'll get there. It's nice to see just them going for it right now.
Oh yeah, definitely you're getting your first deathless run really feels good as a newer runner. Unfortunately, not going to happen to Snake in this tournament, but
they still have one extra run to go for, don't they?
Oh, do they?
Yeah, I think they got only 2 losses. I don't remember against who. Probably like Lynx, Maniacal, and either Mega or Krauser. Mega is in chat; he'll be able to tell.
Right, so obviously we're cheering for that. Hopefully he can get the run. But in the meantime,
yeah,
we're all cheering for him here to kill his Mother Brain. Chat, give SnakeLancer your energy.
Alright, good hits.
This attempt is looking good.
Yeah, getting good dodges. Not sure why he's using supers. Seems they deal so little damage compared to charge shots. Well, not so little, but not as much.
And it looks like Mother Brain's down.
Nice.
Wait, no! Snake, what are you doing?
No, what?
Oh no.
They went for a little bit too much intentional damage there. They just had to take the Rainbow Beam and wait for their health to deplete. It was okay.
Oh no.
Oh. That hurts.
It's okay though, he has it this time. He got the fight there, he just needs to do that again.
And it's good practice. It's good practice live on speed gaming. Just being able to hold that off multiple times, and it'll be good for his first race.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay, let's go pass through the Debitite that never spawned. Yeah, it will finish, and that's something very good about those tournaments on speed gaming. They're open to anyone, and like you can see various set of skills. You see newer runners and runners that have been running for like the past 15 years. I don't know when Behemoth started running the game, but probably a long time ago.
Yeah, we actually do see a fair amount of new runners in this tournament. Besides SnakeLancer, we see like, I think Enham and Emmet. There's probably more. Those are just the 2 that I can think of off the top of my head. So yeah, there's a pretty good amount of new runners in the tournament. So definitely really nice to see people who are less experienced in the game go against people like Behemoth and Zosty. Unfortunately, once again, having really bad luck with these catch-ups. Gets double hit once again.
Okay, I'll make it. And yeah, if you guys want to see more Super Metroid Any% races in 2 hours, in 1
Close to
hour
1 hour
actually,
now.
we'll have Jackson versus Elminster. And just after that, you'll have Antinomy, also known as Sefi, against Megmac Attack on this very channel. So stay tuned for that. You just have the time to get a snack ready for those 2 races.
Yep.
And obviously, like Speed Gaming is broadcasting various amount of races all the time. And this is a crazy week because this is the last week for the group stage, so there are many more races to come. This weekend is going to be a very busy weekend for Super Metroid.
Right. Of course, speaking of new runners, I think Jackson is fairly new to Super Metroid, and of course, Antinomy, he plays like a new runner anyways, so we can pretend.
Megmac Attack is a newer runner with a PB of 1 hour and 5 minutes, if I recall correctly. So should like, I never know when someone has a over an hour PB. I would tend to say they're newer, but you know, I don't want to. I mean, no offense if they're not. It's a tough game to beat in under 1 hour.
Yeah, I think that's one of the reasons this game is so popular, even for newer runners. It's really fun to watch. Just the movement in this game, even if it's more basic, is really clean in general.
Oh, okay. They got like a couple of missiles eaten, but they have so many that it was not a problem. And okay, this is the try.
I paused my stream. Hold on.
Okay, 2, 3, 4. Quarter the way there. Plasma beam eyes, wave and charge, so powerful. It's crazy. Okay, good dodges. Able to do that.
I think Mother Brain's gonna shoot another catch up.
Yeah, they just have to jump in time. Oh no! They Mother Brain stopped moving, and I'm pretty sure they thought that she was done. And actually,
unfortunately, it looks like that's gonna be the one that Snake is gonna call it on, as he officially forfeits from the race. Really unfortunate to see a run end like that. With apparently his controller was still messing up the jump button. That's what he had A set to, but having a little bit of trouble with his controller, and yeah, that would definitely make it difficult to dodge Mother Brain attacks. So unfortunately, he is gonna call it there. But hopefully he can fix his controller and come back strong for his next race, which I don't know if that's scheduled yet or not.
I'm not seeing it right now. Many runs are planned, but yeah, a couple of races still have to be set up. So yeah, be sure to follow the runners and be sure to be there in an hour for Jackson D77 versus Elminster RTA on Speed Gaming 4. It's going to be pretty nice. I hope we have a commentary set up for them. And then we'll have Antinomy versus Megmac Attack, commentated by Titmook and Tracy M.
Yep. And I think that's gonna do it for us. So, on behalf of Speed Gaming, everybody involved, all the runners, all the organizers of this tournament, thank you for watching, and we will see you in about an hour.
Yep. See ya.